Hello guys, in this video I will show you some Docker commands that are useful in your day-to-day life of using Docker. So let's start. So the very first command I just want to tell you about is Docker export or import. So Docker export command is used to export a Docker container's file system as a tar file. So with Docker export command, we can save the contents of a running container into a single tar file, which we can share or import into another system. So let's try this command. So first let's check the images right now. Let's try with this nginx image. Let's create a container from this nginx image. Docker run -d and nginx. Okay, so you can see here our container is now running. So let's export this container. So for that, we have to type the command docker export, and we have to mention here the container ID, and here we have to mention the file name we just want to give to the tar file. Here you can use two things. One is you can use here -o option, and here mention the file name like uh, new image dot tar. So here you can use -o option, or even you can use this symbol. So let's try with this, enter. So you can see the file is now exported, new image dot tar. So if I try to access here, now you can share this image to anyone, and we can create a container from this image. So let's try to create a container. For that we have to import this image. First let's clear the screen. Now for the importing there is a command docker image import. Docker image import, and here we have to mention the file name, that is new image dot tar. And after that we have to mention the new image we just want to create from this image. Give any name like new image 2. Click enter. Now here you can see it returns the SHA-256 address. Now if we check our images, you can see here new image 2 is now created with this image ID, and now we can create the container from this image like docker run. I will mention the image ID and in bash. So here you can see where in the container, and you can share it to anybody, and you can use it with other systems. So the second command I just want to tell you about is docker commit command. So docker commit command looks same as the docker export command, but there is a major difference between these both commands. So the docker commit command is used to create a new docker image from the changes made to an existing container. So basically it allows you to capture the current state of a running container, including its any modifications, and save it as a new image. So it is basically like a snapshot of your current container. You can snapshot your containers exact same with its setting also. Like for example, you have created a container in your system and you have made so many changes in it, and it is working all fine with it. So if you want to share that container with other one, including all the changes you have made in your container, you can use docker commit command for it. So let's see docker commit command. So first let's see the images we have. So right now we have these images. For this example, I will use Ubuntu image. So docker run -it, and the image name Ubuntu, and here mention the in bash. So here you can see right now we are here in our Ubuntu image. Here, let's create some files in this temp directory, cd temp, and here create a file like touch new.txt or touch abc. So here if we list here, you can see here two files are now created here. Also let's create one directory here, make dir new dir. Here you can see one directory and two files are now created here. Now let's try to take the snapshot of this container. Simply if I now can see our Ubuntu container is now running, and now enter the command docker container commit, and here you have to mention the container ID. It is the container ID. So, and after that you have to mention the image name, like give any name, Ubuntu demo. And here also you can add options like uh, like message, like you can here pass any message, or also you can here mention an author like user one. These both are optional, these are not compulsory. So let's try this command. Hit the enter. Now you can see here it returns the SHA-256 ID. So let's see our images, Docker images. So here you can see our new Ubuntu demo images created from our this running container. So now let's try the changes we have made in this container, and let's create a container from this image. So Docker run -it for interactive mode, and here mention the image ID here, and here mention the bin bash. So you can see here right now we are in this Ubuntu demos container. So let's go to our temp folder, cd temp, and here you can see these three items are copied successfully, abc, new text or new directory. You can see both containers are running and both have same files. So basically the key difference between the docker commit or docker export command is, with docker commit command, it creates a new Docker image that captures both the container's file system as well as its configurations or its metadata. On the other hand, Docker export generates a tar file of just a file system. It excludes the configuration or its metadata. So Docker commit is suitable for versioning or sharing container configuration or metadata or its states. So Docker export is suitable for file transfer or backup purposes, but not for recreating containers. So next we have Docker pause or unpause command. So Docker pause command basically pauses all the processes within a container. So let's see Docker ps. So you can see Nginx container is now running. So if we try docker pause command here, docker pause container ID, and hit enter. So you can see it is now paused. And if you want to unpause it, you can use docker unpause command and mention here the container ID. So you can see it is now again up. So suppose while creating a container, you forgot to mention the name, and your container has now a random name. So you can change that name later, even after creating your container with rename command. So let's see docker ps. So right now you can see here The name of my container is this distracted wing. So we can change this name by Docker rename, and here mention the container ID, and here mention the new name, Nginx server. So again, if we try Docker PS, so you can see here our name is now changed to the Nginx server. So next we have Docker wait command. So Docker wait command waits until the container stops and then prints the container's exit code. So it can be helpful in scripting and automation scenarios where you want to wait for Docker container to finish its execution, and you can use its exit code for further processing. For example, let's see here Docker yes. Now you can see our this container is now running. Now if I enter here Docker wait and this ID, now you can see here it is now waiting for this container to be stopped. And if we stop this container, it returns its exit code. So let's see. The PS, and if here we'll stop this container, stop and enter. And here you can see it returns the 0. So as I mentioned before, it is useful in some cases like where we are writing on some complex logics and we want the exit code of the container. And next we have Docker cp command. Now cp command basically used to copy the files between your containers or your host system. So let's see how it's working. First, let's create here a new folder. Give any name like demo. And here create a new file. Text file like demo file. Uh, and here if we change our directory to desktop and ls, oh sorry, dir, and here you can see the demo dir cd2 demo, and you can see here there is a demo file. So let's copy this directory to our Ubuntu container. Now first let's see our Ubuntu container, Docker images. Now run Docker run -it. Here mention the image ID and pin dash into it. So we are now into our Ubuntu container. So let's go to our temp folder. So you can see here right now there are 3 items, 2 files and 1 directory. So now we copy the file we created into this temp folder of this container. Okay, so let's see. Uh, First let's see the file here. So you can see our demo file.txt file is here. Now we have to run the command here like docker container cp cp for copy, and here we have to give the file name we want to copy, that is demo file.txt. And we are copying this file to the container here, this container. This is the ID of our container. Copy it and paste it. If you are in some other directory, you can also give here the path to this file. Right now I am in the demo directory, so I am only giving here the file name because this file is available in this directory. So you can also give here the full path of this file. So here after the container ID, we have to mention the path where we want to copy the file, column, and here we have to give the temp directory tmp because we have to copy the file in this directory. So we have to give the path here. If you don't want to give any path here, this file goes to the home directory of this container. Okay, So let's copy this file, hit enter. So here it returns the message it successfully copied file to the containers temp directory. So here let's see again if I enter here ls. So you can see here right now the demo file.txt is available here. Now we can also copy the files from our this container to our host system. So let's see how we can do that. Simply we have to reverse this command like here docker container cp, and here we have to mention the file path of our container. Now let's copy this new.txt file to our host file system. So we have to mention the path of this file. So the path of this file is inside this temp directory. So we have to mention here the container ID that is here, and after that we have to mention the file name that is new.txt and new.txt. Okay. And after that we have to mention the path where we want to copy the file. Like here we want to copy the file here on the desktop and in the demo folder. And here we have to mention desktop and demo. So all right. So hit enter. Okay, so this invalid output path is because we are already inside the demo folder. So we are giving the wrong path here. So here we have to give the dot here and hit enter. So you can see successful copied. So now let's check. So here you can see the new.txt file is copied successfully. So in this way you can copy the files between the containers or the host. So next we have the attach command. So if you have a container that is running in detached mode, so if you want to again attach to that container, you can use docker container attach command. So let's see how we can use it. So first let's run a container. Let's run the nginx container and run it in detached mode. Engine, and here we have to map the port and hit enter. Oh, sorry. So here you can see now our nginx container is now running. You can see here now it is running in detached mode. So again you can attach to this container with docker attach command, docker container attach, and here you have to mention the container ID. Here copy. So now you can see here we are attached to this container. So we can verify this by simply visiting this home page. So let's see. So you can see our nginx server is now running, and you can see it returns the logs here. So right now we are attached to this container. So that's it for now. I hope you have enjoyed this video.